Sports Sports Desk. I'm your host, Keith Jackson, and welcome to a special edition of Sports Blast. Tonight's program simply called Slam, the top 100 Alabama jokes of all time. It's an exhaustive. We make fun of the Alabama football program just like every hiccup going on around America. Here's a hint. It's easy, and they're on probation. And my old good friend Mike Price, well, that's a whole nother show. And as a bonus special today, Sports Life will be breaking in highlight coverage of the big one. I'm talking about the Iron Bowl, the good old backyard brawl in the Southeastern Conference. I'm talking about the Tigers going at it in the only game that really matters in what promises to be a real barn burner. Now, let's get started with that joke countdown, and here we go.
What's the difference between an Alabama fan and a literal puppy? The literal puppy stopped whining after 6 weeks. You might be an Alabama fan if you see a sign that says, "Say no to crack," and it reminds you to pull up your jeans.
One of the Alabama fans is it takes to change a light bulb. Just one, but it takes a room full to sit around and talk about how the bear really done it. What's the difference between an Alabama cheerleader and the elephant? The elephant's about 10 pounds lighter.
Why do Alabama students have TGIF on their shoes? Because toes go in first.
What do tornadoes and University of Alabama fans have in common? Sooner or later, they all end up in trailer parks. Why don't Bama fans fart? Their mouths are never closed long enough to build up any pressure. You hear about the Alabama fans? Thought I was waiting fooling around with his best friend. Went home and shot his dog.
Why do Bama girls wear panties? To keep their ankles warm.
What do Bama fans call duct tape? Chrome.
Hello again, everybody. This is Keith Jackson back at the Sports Blast Sports Desk. Talk about an early highlight that had already looking lackluster. Here's Jim Fight, the voice of the Tigers, with a play call.
All right, it's Bama to kick off. It is a high wobbler. It is Jackson. He'll take it at his own 2-yard line. He'll start right. He'll break a tackle for 20. He cuts back left, then right. He's around the corner. This could go. He's to the 45. He's to the 40. He's got one man to beat. 35-30. Down the sideline. Bo could go. He will. It's a touchdown, Auburn. 98 yards for Bo Jackson. He makes it look easy, and Auburn is up early as the Tigers strike first blood here in the Iron Bowl.
Well, thank you so much, Jim Fife. Now back to our countdown.
You know what the difference between a smart Alabama graduate is and Bigfoot? People's actually seen Bigfoot. Why do Alabama fans smell? So blind people can hate them too.
How many Bama phones does it take to change the light bulb? 3. 1 to change the bulb, and 2 to talk about how good the old bulb was. Okay, did you hear that they had to cancel the Christmas pageant at University of Alabama this year? They couldn't find 3 wise men.
Did you hear one about the Alabama fans who drowned in the back of the pickup truck because they couldn't get the tailgate down?
Coach Brandon walked into the doctor's office with a frog sitting on his head, and the doctor says, "What can I do for you?" And the frog says, "How about cutting this award off my ass?"
You know the Tide fans are still angry Forrest Gump didn't win the Heisman.
What do you get when you cross a University of Alabama football player and a groundhog? 6 more weeks of bad football.
All right, Alabama's star quarterback and star receiver and their newest receiver sitting in the back of the car going down the road. Who's driving? The police officer.
What do you do when an Alabama fan throws a hand grenade at you? Take the pin out and throw it back. Where you go?
Back at the Sports Desk, more trouble for the Tide. Here's Jim Fife with the play call.
Here's Namath. He'll take the snap from center. He'll hand back to Musso. Oh, he's hit hard. There's a fumble on the play, and Auburn's after it. The ball is bouncing around. It's picked up to the 10 and the 5. Touchdown, Auburn! Touchdown, Auburn! Oh, my, I don't know who hit him. Somebody cleaned his clock, and Auburn has jumped up big on Bama early.
Boy, talk about a doozy. Auburn now up 14-0 still early in the fourth quarter, but making it look so easy.
How do you break an Alabama guy's finger? Punch him in the nose.
An Alabama graduate died, and he left everything he had to his wife. But he left a provision in his will that she couldn't touch it until she turned 15. So, why did they build the Mercedes plant so close to the University of Alabama? Because they had an endless supply of crash test dummies.
What do you call an Alabama cheerleader with 2 brain cells?
pregnant.
She said, Mark, I recently went up to the courthouse and was watching a couple that went to the University of Alabama going through a divorce. And it was going fine at the end. She looked up and said, Judge, we get divorced. Are we still going to be brother and sister?
How do you compliment an Alabama fan? Nice too. What do you have when 100 Alabama fans are buried up to their neck in sand? Not enough sand.
My judge, have you ever heard about the latest University of Alabama professor's invention? It's a solar-powered flashlight.
How did the Alabama fan's mother teach her son to put his underwear on? Yellow in the front, brown in the back. There you go.
Hey, Baba, why do Alabama grads drive around with their diplomas on their dashboard? So they can park in handicap spots.
Well, you won't believe this one. Here's old Jim Pike with a play call. Here's Sullivan, under center, Jackson, the lone step back, Beasley wide right, and here's the snap. Sullivan steps back, he's going to throw, he's got a man open, it's Beasley to the 40, he's got running room, he picks up a block, he does, he's down the sideline, 45, he's to the 40, 35, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Auburn! 80 yards, Pat Sullivan to Beasley, and the Auburn fans are going ballistic. Oh my, touchdown Auburn! Well, thank you so much, Jim Fife. Now back to our countdown.
Honey, do you know why doctors don't circumcise Bama students? Mama, there's no end to those.
Did you hear about those terrorist attacks in Tuscaloosa? Been cheating. They caught him. Been losing. They caught him, but been winning. They got away.
It's a joke that everybody in Tuscaloosa and all Alabama Crimson Tide fans live in trailers and trailer parks. Well, that's not true because I went to Tuscaloosa for the football game this year, and it was a real nice place, and everybody was real nice to me. So I talked to some of the people, and I met some of the people, and I asked them, I said, is it true that everyone in Tuscaloosa lives in a trailer park? And they said, no, not everybody. There's a waiting list.
I'm Chiefhead Mark from Wisconsin. I was out walking the field, and there was this Auburn student, Alabama student. They were walking together, and the Auburn student looked at the Alabama student and said, look out, fella, there's a lot of cow pies out here. And the Alabama guy, the student was walking by, and he leaned over, picked it up, and said, hey, man, thanks a lot, I'm going to step in this one.
I don't really have a joke. I mean, Alabama's lost me so much money in the past, I should have to go to rehab by now for as much money as they've cost me.
What do you call an Alabama fan when they're brothers and sisters? A virgin.
You know what you get when you get the Alabama cheerleading squad together? A full set of teeth.
Okay, what's the difference between a dead skunk in the middle of the road and a dead Alabama fan in the middle of the road? The skid mark confirmed the dead skunk in the middle of the road. Fred, we're not doing a sex joke. Am I on film? I'm ready. What's this? Okay, got it.
Yes, indeed, sports fans, it's low tide. And just in case you didn't believe it, here's old Jim Fife with another big one. Auburn has it first down at the Alabama 20-yard line. This drive started way back at the Auburn 5-yard line. Here's Cribbs. He's the lone setback. Here's the snap to give to Cribbs. He leaps at the line. He's up. Look at the hang time. He's still up. He's going to score. Touchdown, Auburn! Never seen anything like it. Joe Cribbs from 20 yards out, leaping into the end zone. Oh, my Lord! Well, Jim Fife, you weren't kidding. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. The word unbelievable. Well, let's get back to the countdown.
How can you tell if a coyote is an Alabama fan? He chews off 3 legs before he gets out of the trap.
Okay, there's a sex ed class at the University of Alabama. The instructor told the students that under no circumstances could they get out of taking their final exam. One of the students raised his hand and said, sir, what if we're doctors and having sex all night? The instructor proceeded to tell him that he can just go ahead and take the test with his other hand.
You want to know what I like about Alabama fans?
Did you know there's only one real Alabama joke? Because the rest are true.
Okay, you're trapped in a room with a tiger, a rattlesnake, and an Alabama fan. You have 2 bullets and a gun. What do? You shoot the Alabama fan twice.
Why doesn't Alabama grad whistle while he's taking a so he knows which end to wipe? All right. What does the University of Alabama girl say after having sex? Get off me, Daddy! You're crushing my camels!
What do Alabama fans use for birth control? Their personalities.
What do you say to a Bama athlete in a three-piece suit? Will the defendant please rise?
What do Bama and pipe tobacco have in common? They both get smoked in balls. Legal. Roll Tide.
Yeah. Well, it's late in the first half, and Auburn is looking outstanding while the Tide continue to have issues. Here's the play call. All right, Bama's got the ball on their own 30-yard line. I believe it's Namath under center. Musso in the backfield. Alfie Newsom wide right. Joey Jones wide left. Here's the snap. Namath fades back. He's got Newsom breaking across the middle. He throws it. It's tipped. It's intercepted. Chuck Clinton. He's down the right sideline. Nobody's going to catch him as Chuck Clinton waltzes into the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn! Oh, what a big play! And the momentum continues on Auburn's side as the Tigers are racing to a huge first half lead. Well, the Tigers continue to pound the hapless Tide. Auburn up 35-0 at the half in the Iron Bowl, and now it's time for my exclusive interview with some of the great characters from the University of Alabama. Coach DeVoe, a lot goes into preparing for a championship and winning on the field. What would you do differently if you were head coach of Alabama again?
Well, first of all, Keith, it's a tremendous challenge. It's also a tremendous opportunity, just to get out a coherent sentence. And, one thing that we want to try to do is stretch the field horizontally and vertically and sporadically and things of that nature. And, the main thing is to try to do is to get your football team in the end zone. And we believe that God's got a plan for that. I'm not sure what that plan is, but if it doesn't work out, that's who we'll put the blame on. And, that's all we can do at this time is try to figure out a higher power where all these problems are coming from. And, I really don't know what else to say other than it's a tremendous challenge. It's also a tremendous opportunity, just to try to, score a touchdown and have a clear thought.
Dennis Franchione came out of Dallas, Texas as the old silver-tongued devil, the old mad Italian. Came to Tuscaloosa, did well, and then left under the cover of night. Coach Fran, why'd you leave to go to a place like Texas A&M from Alabama?
Well, Keith, I think coaching in Alabama was certainly something I always wanted to do, and to be able to coach in a place with great tradition and great passion. Football. I think the underlying reason that I left Alabama to go to Texas A&M was the fact that Coach Stallings and Coach Bryant both coached at Texas A&M, and I felt like in order to be up there with one of the great coaches in Alabama history, that I probably need to kind of pursue the same deal that they did. And so coaching at A&M was the main reason for leaving. That and $1.8 million a year over 10 years.
Well, that sounds like a big old load of horse manure. And I tell you a guy that probably agrees with that. That's old Beebs Stallings. He's on his ranch out in Texas. He spent time in Tuscaloosa, and I know he's got some thoughts.
Well, it's one of those situations that just burns you up to the depths of your bowels, huh? No question about that. I mean, we're in a different time and a different era. I mean, you're talking about coaches going into strip clubs. You're talking about coaches going in and getting lap dances and things like that. Getting drunk at a golf tournament. Man, that's embarrassing. How can a coach go out and recruit and talk to football players, try to get them to come to his university, and he's acting like that? I've said all along, the game of football is about the players. That's what it's all about. And it's always going to be about the players. And when you start focusing on other things, you're going to just ruin the game of college football. That's just not good. I've said all along, the fun's in the winning. Ain't no fun to go 3-8. Ain't no fun to get to lose your $10 million a year job. It's all about the football players and what he can do to better himself. This ain't rocket science.
This ain't philosophy, and this is football, huh? Ain't no question about that. Well, let's get back to the countdown.
How do you keep an Alabama fan from drowning in a puddle? Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, an old drunk, and a classy Alabama fan are walking down the street. Simultaneously, they spot a dollar bill. Who gets it? The old drunk, of course, because the other three are mythical creatures.
What's the difference between an Alabama cheerleader and a heifer? About 20 pounds.
What's the difference between a Corvette and a girl from the University of Alabama? Not everyone's been in a Corvette.
Alright, why does the University of Alabama graduate keep his fly open?
Why?
In case he has to count to 11! What do you call 4 Alabama cheerleaders at a 4-way stop? Eternity. Do you know why OJ wanted to move to Tuscaloosa? Because everyone there has the same DNA. What do you call an attractive woman on Alabama's campus? A visitor. Hey Sarah, why did the Alabama graduate lose his job as an inspector at the M&M factory? Well, Mary Catherine, he threw away all the W's.
Well, apparently the proud helmets were stepped on a little too tight. Here's Jim Fife with yet another one. Big play.
All right, Bama has the ball at their own 40, trying desperately to put some sort of drive together. It's Namath, the quarterback. He'll take the snap and he'll hand off to Musso. He's stacked up at the line, breaks free. They're headed backwards. Musso is running the wrong way. What is this moron doing? He's actually sprinting towards the Alabama goal line. He's in for a safety. That's got to be the wildest, craziest, dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Well, it looks like that youngster could use a compass. And speaking of direction, let's get back to the countdown.
Tuscaloosa doesn't have a town idiot. They all take turns.
How do you get to Tuscaloosa? You go east to smell it, and then south to step in it.
Okay. What does an Alabama man do when his dishwasher breaks? Elaborate. Some Alabama fans run away to Walt Disney World, and they got to a sign that said Walt Disney World left, so they turned around and went home.
If a Georgia fan and an Alabama fan were drowning and you could only save one, would you go to lunch or read the paper?
Well, a good friend of mine's a third grade teacher, and last week she was asking the kids about, professions, what they want to do for a living. They said, what does your father do for a living? So she asked the first kid, and he said, well, my father's he's a mechanic, he works on cars for a living. She said, well, that's great, mechanics work on cars, that's great. She asked the second kid, what does your dad do for a living? He said, well, he's an attorney, he's a lawyer, basically. He goes to trial. Oh, that's a great job. And then she asked the third kid, Billy, what's your dad do for a living? He says, well, my dad's he's a stripper in a gay male burlesque show in Las Vegas. She's okay. So she changes the subject real quickly. Then later on the playground, she says, Billy, I'm sorry for asking you about your dad, if he's a gay, burlesque dancer. He says, well, actually, he's a football coach for University of Alabama. That's just too embarrassing to talk about.
What do you call 87 guys around a TV set watching the Sugar Bowl? The Alabama football team.
What's another name for the Crimson Tide? Sea of Rednecks.
How many pallbearers are needed for an Alabama alumni funeral? 2. A garbage can only has 2 handles. What do you call a pimple on an Alabama fan's butt? A brain tumor. Where you go?
Well, this was Gentleman Museum. Says I don't believe it, and you ain't gonna believe it either. I don't think I do. But here's Jim Fife with an unbelievable story.
Fans, I've been a sportscaster for many, many years, and I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this one today. In an apparent act of sheer desperation, assertive Tide fans have forced themselves into Elmwood Cemetery in Birmingham, and with shovels in hand, they've actually dug up the old codger himself. And I may say so, what a beautiful job of taxidermal preservation.
Well, I must say the old man looks pretty rested to me, and ready to play also. Should be a real source of motivation for the Tide youngsters. Now let's get back to the countdown.
Did you hear about the Alabama football players that couldn't get into his house Saturday night?
It seems that someone has planted the goal line in front of this door.
What do you say to your University of Alabama woman with two black eyes? Nothing, don't hold her twice. How do you starve an Alabama fan? Hide the food stamps under the stove.
Why do they put manure all over the walls at a University of Alabama wedding?
Why?
Keep the flies off the bride.
Do you know the difference in Alabama and Cheerios? One belongs in the bowl. What's 5 miles long, has an IQ of 40? Alabama's homecoming parade. Oregon. Oh, did you hear about the Alabama fan who told her friend to meet her at the corner of Walk and Don't Walk? Why did the Alabama fan only change her baby's diapers every month? Because the instructions said, good for us at 20 pounds.
There's this elderly couple sitting around the breakfast table and they're both Alabama graduates. It's their 50th wedding anniversary. The woman says to the man, says, 50th wedding anniversary. He said, yep. She goes, just think, 50 years ago we were sitting at this same table. He said, yep. She goes, but we're probably naked. He said, yep. She goes, what do you think? So they both stripped down. She says, my nipples are just as hot for you today as they were 50 years ago. He says, I don't doubt it. One of them's in my coffee, the other one's in oatmeal. Alright, this Alabama guy's walking into a restaurant with his girlfriend. Sits down at their table. He overhears from another table next to him. This guy says to his wife, please pass me the sugar, sugar. That's smooth. I want to be like that. And same time he hears from another table, a nice guy says to his wife, please pass me the honey, honey. It's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to impress my girlfriend. He says, please pass me the bacon, pig.
Well, I've said it a million times. Special teams win ball games. Special children, well, they deserve special love. Here's Jim Fife in the fourth quarter with the play call.
Tigers up 58-0. It's Bama fourth down from its own 15-yard line, fourth and a mile, 32 yards to be exact. Greg Gant has stepped onto the field in punt formation for Alabama. Here's the snap, a heavy rush. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's Auburn's got it! They're going to run it in for a touchdown! Touchdown! Auburn on a block kick! I tell you, we've seen it all today, Stan White.
Well, it's getting mighty ugly at the Iron Bowl. The Tigers are all over the draining Tide, 65-0. Now let's get back to the countdown.
Did you hear about the Alabama fan with the personalized license plate? Dad made it for him in prison.
How do you keep an Alabama football player out of the yard? Put a goalpost in. Alright, for all you Auburn fans out there, I just have one good joke for y'all. Alabama. See y'all later.
What's the last thing an Alabama stripper takes off?
What?
Her bowling shoes.
How many Alabama students does it take to change a flat tire? Just one, but they get 3 hours credit for it.
Alright, Alabama guy goes into a drugstore, buys some condoms. Says $3.95 on the price tag. Takes it up to the counter. Guy, clerk rings it up, puts in $3.95, comes out, says, that'll be $4.35. The Alabama guy's confused, goes, what's the extra 40 cents for? The clerk goes, tax. The guy goes, oh good, I was wondering what held those things on.
Okay, a group of Alabama football players from remedial English. Professor asks, what comes after the sentence? Their answer, the appeal. What's the first thing an Alabama cheerleader does when she wakes up in the morning? Walk home.
I don't know how true it is, but I heard high school will be dressing 10 players for the game. The rest will be dressing themselves.
Oh, man. No, I really don't remember how the joke goes. It's basically, man goes to heaven. Well, again, that's a joke in itself, but he's in heaven and St. Peter meets him at the gate and he says, come on, I'll show you where your house is. So he takes him over this nice house, you know, they got the Alabama flag flying and everything. And Bear says, hey, this is nice, thank you. And he looks over and there's this gigantic mansion with Auburn flags flying and everything. And Bear says, you know, I don't want to, seem, ungrateful or anything. He said, but it's a nice house, but look, he said, why should Jordan got a house like that? He said, that's not Suge, that's God's.
Did someone say 1972? Here's Jim Fife with a play call late in the game.
All right, here's Bama back in punt formation from its own 20-yard line. Here's the snap. Heavy rush. It's blocked. Auburn's done it again. They're going to run it in. It's David Langner. Touchdown, Auburn. Touchdown, Auburn. On back-to-back block punts. Hey, punt, Bama, punt, Stan White. Groovy Man, groovy. Now back to the countdown.
How do you get a University of Alabama cheerleader in your dorm room? Grease her hips and push.
Okay, what does an Alabama fan and a maggot have in common? They can feed off the same dead bear for over 27 years. How do you get a dumb Alabama fan out of a tree? You wave at him.
Why was the University of Alabama students so depressed when their library burnt down?
Why?
Because 4 of the books hadn't been colored in yet.
Why don't Alabama quarterbacks use a phone? Because they can't find a receiver.
How did Alabama get its colors? Rednecks, white trash.
Guy goes into a Mercedes dealership thinking about buying a Mercedes. Salesman comes out, he says, you're going to love this car. One of the great features is it has a voice-activated radio system. Let me give you an example. All you got to say is country music. Travis Tritt came on, started singing country music. All you got to do is say rap music. Snoop Dogg comes on, singing rap. The guy says, I love it, I'll take the car. Guy, he buys the Benz, cranks it up, driving down the road, and all of a sudden, his pulpwood truck pulls right in front of him. But to lock his brakes up, almost wrecked his new Mercedes-Benz. Out of a fit of passion, he screams out, you stupid, idiot redneck. The radio started singing, Yay, Alabama.
You know what you get when you mix an Alabama fan with a goat? A retarded goat.
Folks, last week they found some white powder on the field at University of Alabama football field. Called in the FBI, they thought it was anthrax. Come to find out, it was a gold line.
Well, there you have it, sports fans, and it should be. The Tide indeed got slammed. Final score, Auburn 72, Bama 0. Stay tuned to Dude City Public Television top new reality show, Wild on Clubbing with Pensacola favorite, Mike Price.